My name is Mike Hayes. I'm with Mike Hayes Consulting. I'm an environmental consultant that has worked for about 24 years on projects in critical dune areas and along the Lake Michigan shoreline and others. I'm here tonight representing Damfino Development. My role is to help them through the regulatory process, and in particular to attempt to obtain a critical dune permit. And that brings us to tonight's public hearing. Damfino owns about 83 acres in 4 different parcels. I suspect most of you here tonight are familiar with the property. The drawings that we have on display tonight, the north arrow is roughly to the right. Harbor Town is off to the south and west, and the Damfino property borders Harbor Town, and then around towards the lake, towards the Muskegon Lake shoreline. Many of you are familiar with the Bluffton School site, which was purchased recently by Damfino Development, and in particular it was purchased to provide them access onto the 83 acres that they hope to develop in the future. The critical dune area is a small finger or ridge of critical dune area. It's shown on this drawing in slightly purple color that comes into the property here. And the proposed access route comes from near the parking area for the old school site and through the ridge here. Our proposal hopes to use a low saddle on the property, which seemed to be the easiest way to get a low-grade road into the western part of the property. The drawing here on my left is a plan view in detail showing the proposed impacts to the critical dune. The critical dune area is bordered on the south here and on the north here. Inside that area, we're proposing a cut through the top of that ridge that is shown here in pink. On either side of that will require fill, shown in orange. And then outside the critical dune area, both to the south and the north, is additional fill. The impact to the dune area itself, the critical dune area itself, is about 1/3 of an acre, which we feel is a rather small impact for a project of this size. Altogether, there's about, I think, 8,000 additional cubic yards of material that will be brought on the site from the adjacent property. The impacts break down, as you can see on this drawing. Again, outside the critical dune area to the south, about 1/3 of an acre of fill, roughly 1,500 cubic yards. An additional 1,000 cubic yards of fill on the south end within the critical dune area, another 1,200 cubic yards of cut, and 1,500 cubic yards of fill on the north side. Again, in the critical dune area, about 1/3 of an acre. And finally, coming out to the north, there's about 5,000 cubic yards of fill outside the critical dune area again. In proposing this, we explored alternative locations to enter the property, and it's our position that there are 3 other alternative points of entry, but we feel that all of them are substandard entry points for the amount of traffic that we anticipate. There is no development plan at this point. It was important for us to get a permit for this primary entrance before we went into the planning stage. But local zoning could be anywhere from 100 to 320 homes. We expect that that will amount to 2,000 to 2,500 vehicle trips per day. A fair amount of traffic. The alternative location points that we could enter, the first one would be on the south part of Harbor Town. There's a small area here where the West Harbor Town Circle abuts the Damfino property. There's another area along Woodlawn. And then finally, Edgewater Street, which comes around the shore of Muskegon Lake. Again, in some of these, the right-of-way is only 40 feet wide. They're through historic neighborhoods, residential neighborhoods. Sight lines are poor. We would like to utilize the area out here, okay, off of Waterworks Road, with a proposed traffic circle, which we think we think of as a collector street and would best accommodate this level of traffic.